Hey, welcome. Today, we're going to break down one of the biggest ideas in all of programming, object-oriented programming. And don't worry, we're going to do it with a really simple analogy that's going to make it all just click.
So, let's start with a big question. Think about the apps you use every day. They have millions, sometimes billions of lines of code. How on earth do developers keep all of that organized? How do they stop it from becoming a complete, tangled disaster? It's a real puzzle, and it needed a seriously smart solution.
And the answer? Well, it's actually something we see all the time. Programmers figured out that the best way to handle complexity is to act like an architect. You wouldn't just start throwing up walls for a skyscraper, right? Of course not. You need a plan. You need a detailed, well-designed blueprint. And that simple idea is the key to everything. Now, in the programming world, this master plan, we call it a class. This is our first big concept, and it maps perfectly to that blueprint idea. It's the absolute starting point for everything we're about to build.
So what exactly is a class? Well, just think of that house blueprint. The blueprint itself describes all the properties a house will have, how many rooms, what color the paint is, and it also defines the behaviors. What can it do? A door can open, a light can turn on. But, and this is the most important part, the blueprint isn't the house. You can't live in the piece of paper, right? It's just the design, the idea.
Okay, so if the class is the plan, what happens when you actually pick it up and build something? Well, that brings us to our second key concept, the object. The object is the real deal. It's the actual house you built from that blueprint. In programmer speak, we'd say it's an instance of that class. It's a real thing that exists in the computer's memory, and it has all those properties and behaviors that were defined way back in the original plan.
Yeah, this lays it out perfectly. On the left, you've got the class. That's the general template, the design. And on the right, you have the object, a specific real-world thing built from that design. Simply put, the blueprint describes a house. The object is the house.
Okay, but why bother with this whole blueprint and building separation? What's the big deal? Well, it comes down to one massive advantage, reusability. And honestly, this is where the magic really kicks in.
Imagine you're building a whole neighborhood. Can you imagine the nightmare of drawing a totally new, unique blueprint for every single house? It'd be insane, a total waste of time. Instead, you'd design one amazing house blueprint, just one class, and you'd make it perfect.
And from that one single blueprint, you can just stamp out as many houses, as many objects as you want. They all have the same basic design, but each one is its own separate thing. You can have a red one over here, a blue one over there, a yellow one down the street. It's one plan, creating a whole bunch of unique, real-world results.
All right, let's bring this all home. Why is this blueprint model so important? Why is this the way pretty much all modern software is built?
It all comes back to that first big problem. Managing chaos. A class is like a neat little container. It packages up or encapsulates all the data and actions for a single concept, like a user in an app, all in one tidy spot. This is a game changer because it keeps everything about the user self-contained, almost like a little black box, preventing other parts of the program from messing with it by accident. So you see, this isn't just a small trick. This whole idea completely changed the game. First, you get incredible organization. Everything's bundled up logically. Second, massive reusability. You write that house blueprint once and build an entire city from it. And third, that all leads to way more efficiency. If something breaks in a house, you don't check every single house in the neighborhood. You just go back to the original blueprint, fix the design once, and it helps all the houses built from it. It's brilliant. And really, that's the heart of it. That's object-oriented programming. So I'll leave you with this. This pattern of a blueprint and the thing made from it is, well, it's everywhere. A cookie cutter is the class, and all the cookies you make are the objects. The design for a car model is the class. Your actual car in the driveway is an object. So now I'm curious, what about in your world? What else fits this pattern? Once you start looking, you'll see it everywhere. Thanks for tuning in.